Chairman Goldman to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. In 2019, the Texas Legislature passed the most important piece of legislation I've ever authored called Molly Jane's Law. By working with local law enforcement, district attorneys, Department of Public Safety, and my very important constituent here today, Molly's mother, Tracy Matheson, we fundamentally changed reporting mechanisms for law enforcement agencies who are investigating sexual assault cases. House Bill 4628 continues this work by creating response timelines for law enforcement and the state laboratory when a case-to-case match is made in the combined DNA index system, otherwise called CODIS. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions, members? All right, we'll call you back up.
Thank you.
Chair calls Tracy Matheson. Let's see, Matheson. We have you registered as Tracy Matheson, representing yourself in favor of the bill. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Please continue.
Chairman and Vice Chairman and committee members, thank you very much for having me here. My name is Tracy. I'm providing testimony in support of House Bill 4628, and I'm representing myself. I hope you will allow me to illustrate for you why House Bill 4628 is so important by reminding you of a landmark piece of legislation that was passed in the 86th Legislature and is now referred to as the Lavinia Masters Act. This important law now provides a framework to follow after a survivor receives a forensic medical exam. All parties know their role and also the timeline they must follow in order to carry out their role. It was a much-needed piece of legislation because rape kits had been sitting on shelves, untested, some for decades. Texas told survivors in 2019 that this was not okay and passed the Lavinia Masters Act so that the backlog could be cleared and would not ever return. House Bill 4628 endeavors to do for CODIS hits what the Lavinia Masters Act did for rape kits. As we have been working diligently to process rape kits, we are learning that what we believe to be true about the rate at which those who are serial offenders is actually true. Serial rapists are responsible for a notable percentage of sexual assaults, and CODIS hits are a valuable tool to connect them to these cases. My daughter was raped and killed in 2017 by a serial rapist who also strangled his victims. He was reported multiple times to multiple agencies in Texas. Victims were not believed. CODIS hits were treated as irrelevant and not shared with victims. DNA evidence linking him to the assault was ignored. For too long, there has been a misconception about CODIS hits. This misconception was confirmed to me when a police chief from a large precinct in Texas told me that CODIS hits are only relevant when the suspect is unknown. This theory is simply not true and is actually quite dangerous. You might say my daughter is dead because of the flawed view of CODIS hits. House Bill 4628 would put all parties on the same level playing field. All would know their role, and all would know the timeline they have to complete their role. I have been working with Representative Goldman's office on a committee sub which would include a provision for victims to be told about CODIS hits, as provided for in the Code of Criminal Procedure, in a timely manner. And maybe somewhere along the way, CODIS hits would have become recognized as significant and treated as such, just like we now look at rape kits. We know it's not okay to disregard a rape kit. It is evidence, valuable evidence. The same truth surrounds a CODIS hit. House Bill 4628 tells survivors in Texas that we remain committed to them in their journey to justice. I implore you to vote favorably for House Bill 4628.
Chair calls Melissa Winton. All right, we have you down as Melissa Winton, representing yourself in favor of the bill. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Hi, my name is Melissa Winton, and I'm providing testimony in support of HB 4628. In 2012, I was raped, strangled, and held captive for an extended amount of time. Sorry. as soon as I could, as soon as I could, I went to the hospital where I had a sexual assault exam done and also reported my assault to the police. Unfortunately, no matter what I said or did was not enough for the detective to identify me as the victim instead of the criminal. After recognizing that there had been no progression of the criminal case and I was told that there was little to nothing that they could do, I decided to try to live out a normal senior year of high school. Fast forward to 2017, I discovered my rapist had committed rape and murder of 2 other women in the DFW area. Additionally, I discovered another case that happened shortly after mine in South Padre. The victim from South Padre case also reported her rape and strangulation and did a sexual assault exam, which later resulted in a CODIS hit. The case notes from my 2012 assault states that the CODIS hits could be useful to the South Padre case, but not mine. The detective who handled my case was advised by the legal team to not notify me of the CODIS hits. I wish he did. Every day I wonder why he chose to keep that valuable information from me and wonder if maybe things could have ended up differently. Knowing that there was a CODIS hit would have helped me to know that I was not alone and would have provided some measure of validation. CODIS hits are a significant part of the investigation process. It is important that all of law enforcement and labs understand what their role is and the timeline that they have to carry out their role. HB 4628 provides the framework for CODIS hits and will tell victims in Texas we will deal with them in a timely and efficient manner. Thank you.
Questions, members? Thank you, ma'am. Chair calls Brady Mills. We have you registered as Brady Mills, representing Texas DPS Crime Lab on the bill as a resource witness. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Members, questions on the resource witness? Thank you, sir.
Great, thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to testify on for or against House Bill 4628? If not, Chair recognizes Chairman Goldman to close.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members, and I want to thank Tracy and Melissa for being here to give their testimony. As we can all agree, that's not easy, and them being here today is greatly helpful, and we need to pass this bill to continue to get those animals that are on our streets in Texas off our streets in Texas. With that, I close.